From the Pyxis I checked, then I did a double check before I brought it to the room. Now I brought it to the room. I've done my third check now, okay?
And then state the rate that you plan to administer it.
I'm going to administer this in 4 to 5 minutes. So there are, did I say I was gonna use this one or the 10?
Six.
Fit my hand better. I'm gonna do 8 seconds for every line. So I'm gonna administer it really slow to make sure you're okay. So you have to let me know if you feel anything weird, but it should just start to feel like there's less pain and maybe you're a little sleepy as I administer this med. How long will it take for me to get it to her if I'm moving at one line every 8 seconds?
So
I'm
eight,
sure
eight,
Celine's
8 seconds times the 1
4
minute, right?
ticks.
So yeah,
4
so how
ticks.
many ticks are in the 1 minute? So
There's-
yeah, so
There's 5
They-
ticks here to get to 1 mil and,
So
and
40.
0.9 of a mil.
right, 40
So
seconds.
it'll take 40 seconds
Yeah.
before she'll
Okay.
start to feel it.
Does that make
If
sense?
this is James.
Say it again.
So like okay, so you've got point
0.9
zero
in
point
there.
nine. Yeah, so you have about 1 mil left in here.
Yep.
So you have 8 seconds per line. So you have 8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds. So 8 times 5 would be 40 seconds to get through the whole thing.
Okay,
And that would be
Until it's
1
finally-
cc.
1
Yeah.
cc, yep,
Okay?
okay, got it.
So
That
what'd you
math
find
I
out
can
about
do.
compatibility?
Yeah.
It's not listed as an incompatibility, there's a whole bunch of other things. not
Okay.
Oh.
So most often meds are compatible with normal saline because we're made out of normal saline, right? So some
It's right at the end.
Some resources will list it as a compatibility and some just assume that we realize that if we're putting it into a human body, it should be compatible with our human body fluids, okay?
Well, and then wouldn't we have known, even though we're now double checking, but even we could also compare what last time too, if she had a reaction to
Mhm.
last time too,
Mhm.
we would have a baseline, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Okay.
Good. All right, what's next?
Clean gloves,
Instead of
clean
keys
the
crossed.
port.
And I'm going to touch somebody's IV, so I'm gonna hand hygiene, put on clean gloves. All right, there's no blue cap there, so how long do I have to scrub?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. And I'm going to scrub all of it, so the part that screws onto the syringe and the top. Of course, I wasn't prepared, I didn't have my saline syringes out.
Mhm.
Anybody wanna prepare my syringe for me?
You want me to get gloves on?
No,
Okay,
just pretend you do.
okay.
I'm gonna let this dry. I'm not gonna do this, okay? I'm maintaining the sterility of my end that I cleaned off. Can't let it go.
You want to take it out?
Cause I trust you. And air goes up, so prime it for me.
Okay.
Sometimes the saline syringes that you get, the flushes that you get in the hospital are like super stuck.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Yeah, we did that earlier.
Oh.
Yeah, so draw back first, it breaks the kind of like a vacuum seal.
Okay.
Okay, so I maintain the sterility, I'm gonna make sure that this IV is patent. I haven't even drawn up my med yet. Do you notice that I haven't even drawn up my med yet? So, I have blood return, okay? So even though what this IV looks like is kind of questionable, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna proceed, hoping that this is all, do you see any bubbles going into their bloodstream?
Oh, it's
Did ya?
moving.
Well, good, so we're just gonna leave it like that? We're gonna leave it like that until I drop my med. Okay, so, all of this was before I drew up my med?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you don't have to be sorry.
I should have.
No, let's talk about drawing up the bed, right? Where's my morphine? So I've confirmed that this is 2 milligrams per mil. I need 2 milligrams. I'm gonna drop 1 mil. In my 10 cc syringe that I just got out of its packaging, and I'm protecting the end. So I'm going to cover this. So I'm going to peel this back, exposing this sterile needle hub. Screw it on, pulling it out. Saving this. This is a sharp. Don't forget that. If you engage the safety, you won't be able to use it again. So if you want to be able to practice and do your checkoffs, you have to do what you're never supposed to do and recap your needle, all right? By scooping, right? So how much am I going to draw up?
5.
I am going to draw up 5, and I'm going to put it into my sterile. Oh, I already did this.
Right.
It's already done. This is already done.
If it's a new bottle,
With a
would
new
you
one.
put air in it? Because I've heard that it can explode or something.
Ours probably explode more than those in this field because ours we've injected air, taken air out, injected more fluid. So we're going to just pretend that we inject 5.
Because if you feel pressure, don't push
Okay.
like all the air
Yeah.
in there.
So we just won't on this because look how full this is. And this is sterile water, not sodium chloride. All right. So this is a single-use vial too. We don't use multi-use vials anymore. So sterile water. We're going to want to try to avoid bubbles. There's some itty bitty little bubbles in there. But we might not be able to get them out just because of our frequent use in and out.
So you
Alright.
just draw it more and then just flush it out? Kind of do that? If you were struggling with getting it out, you just
Yeah.
kind of draw
Yep.
back more and.
Yep. Okay. So 5 cc's, not quite 5 cc's. I want to make sure I have 5 cc's. I want to be accurate.
Yeah, sometimes if you don't put air in, it will like suck the plunger back.
Mhm.
Is that what it's doing?
Yeah. All right. So we're going to inject air into our morphine, but I'm not really going to. Okay. So straight up and down, you guys have all checked off of injections, right? You know not to touch that needle sitting there. So now I'm going to draw up my 1 cc of morphine. Am I there? All right. Real world, I'd put the safety on, but leave the needle there, okay? Because I want to protect that end. So I've done this at the bedside. In my facility, though, I have to document what this medication is because in this facility, the syringe is going to go in the sharps. Edward and I had this conversation. Some facilities don't want to fill up their sharps containers with syringes.
Oh.
They'd only want you to put the needle in, okay? But you have to go by facility policy. Some facilities could care less, just so all the sharps get in there, but some facilities have been audited. Like, are you really, how can you prove you gave the mid you're supposed to give? So if the syringes in the sharps don't have a tape tag that says what's in them, they get docked for that, okay? So.
Yeah, we have to put stickers on that says what was in there.
Yeah, so I'm putting a sticker on right now, okay? So how fast am I gonna do this?
8 seconds.
Okay. So, and I have my other fluids. I've got my other fluids right here, all right. So I've protected this. I'm gonna take a brand new alcohol wipe, clean it off. 30 seconds, okay? I'm gonna protect this. And I'm talking to my patient while I'm doing this. This is gonna be the morphine now. Okay, I've already decided that this is patent, so now I can start. And so I'm gonna start, and so that's one mark. Tap, 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 tap. That's 2 marks. I have to make sure that it's been 8 seconds. Did it say 4 to 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go slower, is it gonna hurt anything?
No.
So if I go every 10 seconds, it's gonna be okay, right? 10 more seconds is 2 more seconds every time. It's gonna be like less than 15 seconds, right? So I just continue to monitor my patient and tap, 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 so that I'm only going 1 line at a time. Not more than 8 seconds for each tap, tap, tap. Okay?
Is that you're tapping because it's easier for you to control the?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't use your hand to,
If you do that, you're gonna slip. Yeah.
okay.
This is a more controlled.
Isn't that gonna
way.
kinda hurt them though? Cause you're kinda tapping on,
Well, I'd be next to my patient.
yeah.
And it's taped.
Yeah, it's taped. This.
I don't know, it's just kinda making me cringe watching it.
Oh,
You're not really
Well-
moving where the IV's in, it's
right.
with the other side. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Patients don't really feel that.
Okay.
This, I mean, this is here. Yeah. This hand is not flexible at all. So anyway, I keep going until I'm all done. So should I be in a chair or sitting up?
Which is
Chair.
Chair.
10, yeah. Up to 10 minutes of this whole process with the flush and so I've gotten all this medication in. Now I've got to have my flush that is pre-primed. Michaela primed it for me and it's ready to go. I just know it's here. I've got another alcohol wipe here. We're done. We're ready. This is all good. It looks like you're breathing fine. How's your pain now? Oh, she's doing great. All right, so
I have a question.
Sure.
Would you clamp it through each time?
some
Or
do,
you
some
leave it
don't.
unclamped?
Some
What
do,
would you
some
like us
don't.
to do?
I want to make sure it's clamped when you leave it.
Okay.
Okay.
When you're all done.
If this is a central line, you have to clamp every time you access this. But this is an IV, so
Okay.
it's less. And we've got this saline lock on here.
Okay.
All right, so how fast am I going to do this?
The same,
Same
rate.
rate.
Is this an appropriate syringe for
No.
what we need to do? Nope. We would need to make sure that we had a syringe that had the same
tips.
increments, or if we didn't have the same increments, that we had a way that we measured how fast. Because there's still 1 ml of morphine that hasn't gone in yet,
Right.
okay? So this is not appropriate, but this is what I had. I mean, that's not a good enough answer. Before you go into the room, you make sure you have.
It's like a
just be
6,
aware that
like a
there's-
6 cc
Like
syringe.
a 6 cc syringe
Okay.
with normal saline in
Yeah,
it, or
okay.
the 3 cc,
Yeah,
okay?
Or you could just draw up a bottle of normal saline, right? With a
Right.
regular syringe. Okay.
With a syringe that had,
The same syringe.
well, this is different. This has 10 for every milliliter, so how would that be different and be okay? This is 3 cc's. You could flush with 3 cc's. What would the calculations be? This has twice as many
Twice as much,
marks.
yeah.
So how many
Oh.
seconds per mark? 4.
So 4,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we could be using this one, pardon my switch. This is air, so I'm not really gonna do it. But then we have a 3 cc syringe that we're gonna do every 4 seconds a line, and we've got the same speed. Okay? Is that good?
And that's when you're gonna do the 1 mil and then go do another flush?
Yep,
Okay.
at least 1 mil doing it exactly the same speed
Oh,
because
okay.
they're still getting the medication.
And you can keep that same.
You can keep
and
that
just
same
flush
speed
it
throughout if
after.
that makes you feel better, but if,
Okay.
as long as you know that you've gotten at least 1
Yeah.
mil of normal saline in here, you can just do a gentle push with the rest of it.
Okay.
But anything that's still got morphine in it, you have to do
Do
the
the-
flush at
yep.
the same rate.
Okay.
Okay?
Using that same syringe, you can just after the 1 mil, you can just continue to use that, right?
Yeah. That's
Yes.
what she was
Yeah.
saying.
Okay.
Yes. So, I'm gonna put a blue cap on that, just to maintain